All right, as always, appreciate y'all being here. I'm excited about another opportunity in the conference. So we said a couple weeks ago, we got a nice stretch here of conference games that we got to go get ready, get prepared for. So excited about the opportunity, excited about the opportunity to get better every day. And I think really the focus right now is us being the best version of ourselves we can be. Correcting some things that we didn't do well, building on some things that we did do well, and definitely got to go on the road and play in the conference. So. Continue to build on that 4 quarters of what I would call Kennesaw State football, the standard, what we're trying to play. Continue to get better at that each and every day in practice, so that hopefully we can go do that in the game. So excited about another opportunity, and I'll look for questions.
Coach, this is Presbyterian's last go around in the conference. When they leave, that means since you guys can't come into the league in 2015, we've had either 7 teams come in or leave. How soon and at what point does this conference really have to stabilize its membership in order for it to really flourish on the national scale?
I don't know, John. I don't know if I really have the answer for that right now. It's all we can do is go be the best we can be at what we do. Obviously, there's been some ebb and flow and some change, and I think that's a little bit of the world we live in. I think there's just a lot of that goes on, and you got to navigate it. And we got some new teams in the league now that I think, are going to be that are really good football programs, and and some of them we haven't played and don't know that much about yet. So, but I think it's just part of it, and obviously we want to be as stable as we can be as a league. We want to be as good as we can be as a league, and we want to do everything we can to promote the Big South and be as good as we can be in everything we do. But I don't know. It's I think we've made some moves to help do that, but we'll just have to see where this thing goes. But I think it's just it's a little bit of college football, a little bit of things going on in the world today. There's a lot of change and moving parts, and just try to navigate the best you can. And honestly, it's not my job, so. I got enough to worry about. If you want to know the God's honest truth, all I do is go see if I can get these kids ready to play.
You know Coach Spangler, and obviously you've watched tape and you know these guys you're playing. What stands out about the version of them this year that you're getting ready to face?
Well, they're the same. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play extremely hard. Coach Spangler's a really good football coach. He's coached a lot of ball. Those kids are going to play hard. They're going to be well coached. Schematically, they're going to be sound in everything they do. In all 3 phases, and always have been. So, they do a good job, and their kids understand what they're trying to get accomplished. So, that's held true. Coach Spangler does a great job. He's got a great staff, and their kids understand what they're trying to get accomplished.
You're trying to get to that 4 quarters when you went back and reviewed last week from Charleston Southern. Anything that kind of stood out?
No, it was pretty much what you saw. I mean, early on, I think offensively, I think we had some young kids with some nerves, if you want to know the truth. If y'all want to be just first conference game, you know what I mean? All that stuff, and it showed. But we got to learn to overcome that. I thought defensively early on, I thought we played fairly well early. I think that, the quarterback, to his credit, as the thing went on, they really just said, heck, we're going to throw the ball. And opened up some things in the pass game that we got to get better at, whether it's rush lanes or covering, whatever you want to call it. And then I thought late we did have a couple drives that showed some resiliency and some things that I think are important that you can build on. You look at all the negatives, but hey, we did have a couple drives there late, to make sure that the thing was where it was at. So I think it was all everything that I talked about after the game. I'll be honest with you, it was that apparent. Probably worse when you go watch the tape because you see all the inside moving parts of things that could be better. But I was encouraged yesterday. I thought we had a good day of practice. Everything wasn't perfect, but the attitude was right. And hopefully what we talk about around here is stacking days. Can you go put a couple of days in a row together, making improvement, and so that we can go towards that 4 quarters of what I would call Kennesaw State football. We're not there yet. We showed some promise in practice yesterday, and hopefully build on that.
There were a number of instances early in the game where they appeared to be kind of jumping the snap and disrupting some things early in the option. And you guys made the adjustment to it, but is that something unique to them, or is that something now that you go and work on it, okay, you know, you vary it up a little bit, the timing of your cadence, your snap counts?
I mean, we practice that during the week. I think Coach Chestnut, as soon as it became apparent we were having issues with it, which in all honesty we shouldn't have, but we
Yeah.
did. You know, we did some things to help ourselves, and that was very obvious as well, I think, watching the game. But I mean, I think you go into a game, you work on everything you can based on what you think's going to happen, and then you gotta see what they're trying to attack you with, and you gotta navigate it. We had answers. We had as good answers as you could have Saturday. But all the answers are great for coaches, but you gotta be able to go execute those in a moment. And I think that's where at times we weren't at the level we'd like to be. Our kids would like, any of us would like to be. But yeah, I mean, they did shoot the gap on us some and did some different stuff, but you know, it's not anything new. Maybe for this bunch of young kids, maybe it's a little new, but we have practice. I did think we made the correct adjustments, you know, to try to help that a little bit.
We get some guys back this week?
Nobody that was out last week, and really we only had a few guys out last week that will be back. I mean, if they were out last week, they're out this week. You know, we're banged up. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those years, but I mean, we're banged up, you know. So we got some guys that'll be probably doubtful for the game. Peyton Moore's banged up, Charlie Patrick's banged up, Kareem Taylor's banged up. So we'll see where they are, you know, by the end of the week on whether they're able to go or not. It's just one of those years, you know, you're coming off an off week. You hope you know, but it's a game of football, you know, and it's a physical game. So, but hopefully we'll get those guys back. Nothing appears to be long term with any of it, you know. So hopefully at some point in time we'll get them back. Hopefully this weekend.
Is that difficult as a coach to kind of walk that balance in practice of trying to keep your guys healthy, but also wanting to improve and wanting to go with fanatical effort throughout?
Yeah. I think especially for me, trying to balance everything we do to give us the best chance to be successful is always, and every year's different. It's not like, okay, here we got this notebook, it has this plan in it. Every team is different. You have to, I mean, we've had to navigate this whole season different. The weather, the youth. I mean, it's been very different than any other season we've had. So I think every year you're navigating it. You know, and we're playing a 12-game season. So you already added another game. All right. We're hopeful here that we play after that. That's our goal. So you have to have that in the back of your mind, even though you're not talking about it as you go, because the cumulative effect early is what, it's not like, okay, we'll take off, we'll quit doing anything late in the year. Well, it's, you have to think ahead and plan things out a little bit based on that team and what you need to do. So truthfully, there's probably more mental energy spent on navigating, getting our team in the right place. In the same breath, I know what we need to do to win as far as practice. You know, so you can't really dodge that. So, and every year's different. Like I said, we've had to navigate the weather, the heat. I mean, this year's just been different. We're navigating different stuff. You get a feel for your team. You get a feel for what you think they can do, what's going to give them a chance to be successful for the short term and the long term. I think all of it together you have to. And then you make a decision and you rock and roll and you go from there. And we've always, you know, guys have always got, I mean, guys are going to get hurt and banged up in the course of the season. That's just part of football. And everybody out there's got to be practicing and getting ready to go. And you never know when your opportunity is going to arise. And I, you know, tell them all the time, like, as soon as you get down or think you're not the guy and you're not playing, your number's going to get called. And the question is, are you going to be ready or not? Because if you put your head down and I'm not getting to play or I'm not playing as much as I want, then all of a sudden opportunity knocks, you're not ready. You know, but if you keep practicing, keep working hard, have a good attitude, and then your opportunity comes, you got a chance to make a play, make something happen, and maybe you elevate your status. You never know. So I think a lot of that stuff, Nolan, goes into play, and the uniqueness is just every year's different. There's no like, okay, this was like last year, the year before. I mean, they're all different. You just kind of navigate it, make some decisions, and rock and roll.
Kind of following up on that, kind of the next man up mentality. Has there been anybody that has surprised you this year with their increased level of play that has kind of made that jump?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's been anybody in particular. We've had some guys that got put in that are getting better. I mean, Markeith Montgomery's a backup corner, but he's getting better. He's not there yet, but he's getting better. We've had the defensive end room has been an ebb and flow. At one time it was the deepest, and now we're trying to find 3 guys to rotate. But that's the game. I don't know. I call his name out because I'm just thinking through all the positions and the things that have gone on. That's the one off the top of my head. I'm sure there's some others, John. I hate saying guys' names because I always leave people out. I hate doing that.
When you're looking at Presbyterian this week, who are the guys on that you kind of single out as, okay, we've got to stop this guy.
Yeah, their guy on offense is number 2, and he made a big play against us last year. I mean, he's their guy. They'll find different ways to get him the ball. But I think offensively he's a really good player. Does a really nice job. Their linebacker core, probably on defense is probably part of their strength. But I would say those were the 2 areas if I picked each side of the ball. That are kind of it. Number 2 does a bunch for them. Man. He's a good player. There's a lot of good stuff. So we got to go in, get a game plan ready like every week, and go execute at a high level, and see if we can get better. See if we can be better.
Before you came in, we were talking about how when you guys have gone to Presbyterian, it's always been kind of a low-scoring, kind of a game. What is it about playing there that is different than some of the other places?
Yeah, it's just anytime you go on the road is different. I told our guys, I said, listen, man, one thing about this game is that when you go on the road, you got to bring your own energy. You got to create. I taught our kids about playing the game in their mind, mentally playing all the time. That creates energy. Energy creates enthusiasm and emotion, and that's what you need. And when you go on the road, I think you have to create that. Nothing's going to create that for you. You're going to have to create that. You're going to have to create the energy. And I think that going to Presbyterian, that's kind of a mindset for us is we got to bring our own energy. I mean, we can't depend on anything else to help us with that. It's going to have to be us doing that to get ourselves ready to go. And I think that's probably the key piece as far as going on the road for this particular game, John.
Sitting here 6 games into the season, the 4-game redshirt situation with such a young team, are there some guys that you've kind of used up as much as you want to use up with them? Are there others that you obviously may need to press into service that you've saved a little bit? Where does kind of all that stand right now?
It's a week-to-week, day-to-day conversation. As I mentioned, the defensive end room, we have 2 freshmen that have played. They're running out of games. Kerry Grease and Marquez Baxter played, but they're running out of games, and we've had to play them some because of as I mentioned earlier, some of the things that have happened in that room. So they're kind of running out of games. So we're trying to manage that as we go throughout the season. Nothing's really changed on as far as who's playing. Right now, Joel Parker's the only true freshman that is playing, not and we're same at quarterback really. We've played X, and when the opportunities come up, we've really been holding on to Murphy as long as we can, so that just like Saturday, you get some guys banged up, and it can be that quick, that he's got to go play. So those are 2 areas. I know those 2 rooms we definitely managed. There's some others, but those are the 2 I think that stand out, Brian, that we're managing it. And there is no all right, it's daily. because you don't know what's going to happen, who's going to go down, you know, and there's daily conversations about managing the roster, and using that 4 game to our advantage from a depth standpoint, but also knowing that some of these kids probably aren't really ready to go play, you know, like you'd like for them to, and plus there may not be enough snaps that's worthy of it, if that makes sense. So we're definitely in those 2 areas. We're navigating that right now, and hopefully we can. Again, you added another game. You know, you go from 11 games to 12 games. That's another game, you know, that you're navigating. So we'll work our way through it, and hopefully we can manage as we go. But those are the 2 rooms I think that are probably the ones we talk about the most.
Daniel David's already having a career season. Do you think him being a senior and his experience is playing into that?
Absolutely. I think this is his first year starting. He has played a good bit of football for us in the past, but I do think his experience, he's a senior. I think those things, and I think partway through the season last year, he made up his mind he was going to be the guy. You know, when that time came, and he's really had that mindset, and I think he's really done some good things. I think he's got room to grow in some areas to be even better, which is encouraging. You know, because he has played pretty well for the most part. But I'm encouraged by the way he's played. I think he can continue to get better. I think he can continue to be more assertive in the leadership side of things. The way he does some things in practice he can even help our football team even more in that area. But I'm proud of the way he's played. I do think it's, you know, his experience and him being here has a huge impact, especially with as much youth around him. It's like I put a lot of onus on him and Bronson in practice, because to me they've been around. You know, that they need to take on that role. You know, where some other guys are just trying to survive because they're trying to navigate everything. With those guys, they understand. They know what the expectation is, and so they need to, you know, in practice, I'd like to see them take that role on about how they go about their business, and I think it'll elevate those guys around them, and I think that's really critical for us right now.
When you addressed the injuries, you didn't mention Tommy, who left the game Saturday. I assume Tommy's okay.
Yeah, he's practicing. So as far as that position right now, everybody's practicing and should be.
Anything else? All right,
All right.
thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.